The Xiaomi Redmi Note 4 is continuing the company's tradition of launching phones with good specifications at low price. The strategy has paid off spectacularly, as Xiaomi crossed the $1 billion revenue milestone in India last year. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 4 follows in the footsteps of the Redmi Note 3 and Redmi 3S, which were among the top-selling devices online last year. The Redmi Note 3, in particular, saw a lot of success in the Indian market with over 2.3 million units sold within 6 months of launch. Much like its predecessor, the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4 model sports an all-metal body and boasts of impressive specifications. Xiaomi is selling 3 variants of the Redmi Note 4 in India. The base model has 2GB of RAM and 32GB storage and retails for 9,999 rupees. Then there's a variant with 3GB of RAM and 32GB storage for 10,999 rupees, and the most interesting model is the one with 4GB of RAM and 64GB storage, which is available for just 12,999 rupees. Now with a full metal build that feels much less cheap. Whereas the Note 3 features plastic parts at the top and bottom to improve signal, the Redmi Note 4 is all metal with those increasingly familiar white stripes top and bottom to ensure you can still get reception. It's also flatter at the back, with chamfered edges and less rounded corners, yet feels every bit as good in the hand. The rear camera, dual-tone LED flash and fingerprint scanner are set up much the same as on the Redmi Note 3. One of the few differences between the two is the speaker grill, and you'll now find 2 rows of 6 drilled holes on the phone's bottom edge, one either side of the now centrally mounted micro USB port. But don't be fooled, it looks nicer, and sound is less likely to be muffled, but there's still just a mono speaker line below. While the top packs a 3.5mm audio jack and an infrared emitter. The power and volume buttons are placed on the right, and can easily be accessed with fingers. The 5.5-inch Full HD IPS display has a resolution of 1080 by 1920 pixels, which works up to a density of 401 ppi. Thanks to the Full HD resolution, text and images appear razor sharp. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 4 display offers punchy colors and decent viewing angles, while sunlight legibility is also great. The screen size makes the Redmi Note 4 well suited to watching videos and movies. You can adjust the color temperature from the Settings app. A reading mode makes the display more comfortable to use while reading. The company is known to set a benchmark when it comes to the specifications, and it continues to do so with the Redmi Note 4. You get a 5.5-inch Full HD IPS LCD display on the front covered with curved protective glass. The smartphone is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 625 octa-core processor, which sounds like a step down from the Snapdragon 650, but is said to be more power efficient. There are 3 memory variants on offer, which include 2GB RAM with 32GB of storage, 3GB RAM with 32GB storage and 4GB RAM with 64GB of storage. All the variants come with an option to expand the storage, supporting microSD cards of up to 128GB. There is a new 13MP camera at the back with DAF, face detection autofocus, and a dual-tone LED flash, while on the front there is a 5MP camera. Connectivity options include support for dual SIM, hybrid SIM card slot, 4G with VoLTE, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS with GLONASS, infrared sensor and a microSD port. Rounding it all off is a fingerprint scanner at the back and a 4,100 mAh battery to provide the juice. The Redmi Note 4 runs MIUI 8 based on Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. Xiaomi claims that the new Snapdragon 625 is a lot more efficient, and it is trading that for the raw power of the Snapdragon 650. The new Qualcomm chip has an octa-core processor clocked at 2 GHz with 8 Cortex-A53 cores built on the new 14nm FinFET architecture. The Snapdragon 650 however offered 2 more powerful Cortex-A72, and considering the Redmi Note 3 offered excellent performance, I was a bit worried that the new chip is a step down. However, I realize that is not the case. In fact, I was impressed how snappy the performance was. Apps open quick, games are perfectly smooth and the UI is fast and responsive. For a daily driver, I think this is an excellent smartphone. Gaming is pretty good as my experience with high-end games like Asphalt 8 and Real Racing 3 was great, but with minor frame drops. An hour of Pokemon Go in the open sun led to a bit of heating, but even then the smartphone didn't struggle in terms of performance. As for the benchmarks, I was comparing them to the Redmi Note 3 and it is mostly neck to neck. Of course I reviewed the 4GB variant and comparing it to the 3GB version of the Redmi Note 3 isn't fair, but then it has been launched at a very similar price range. Benchmarks like Antutu and Quadrant were dominated by the newcomer, while others were closer or lower to its predecessor. From what I have experienced, the Redmi Note 4 offers a similar raw performance package as the Redmi Note 3. Probably the only major concern on the Redmi Note 3 was the camera. For the Redmi Note 4, Xiaomi has loaded a new 13MP CMOS f2.0 aperture camera made by Sony which has 5-piece, 77-degree wide-angle lens and the sensor is said to offer bigger pixel size. The new camera is better in terms of color and contrast. I could see a clear difference in the overall quality. The camera also comes with PDAF and a dual-tone LED flash. Shutter speeds are fairly good but fast-moving objects are still difficult to capture and leave a blur. It still needs improvement in terms of calculating exposure, but it was nice to see that Xiaomi is looking at improving things. The app offers modes like slow motion, manual controls, time-lapse, straighten mode and more. The camera app is quick and responsive. Low light is still a bit of a concern, although it is better than what the 16MP unit offered on the predecessor. The 5MP camera felt pretty much the same as it was on the Redmi Note 3. The front camera features a beauty mode where you can make your face slimmer and skin cleaner. The overall quality of the front camera was just average. If you are on the Redmi Note 3, you might not see a lot of reason to upgrade. For those looking for a new phone for under 13,000 rupees, the market is flooded with options and it can be confusing. There's no doubt that Xiaomi's extra storage at 12,999 rupees is an excellent deal. A lot will depend on availability as well for the Redmi Note 4. If you are Mi fan, and want to upgrade right now, this phone is one of the best options to consider. It might seem a tad boring, but so far it has definitely been reliable. For those who are looking for a smartphone with a big screen and great battery performance on a budget, the Redmi Note 4 is easy to recommend. If you like this video then please press the like button. For more videos related to technology, please subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.